All you beautiful, beautiful people, and welcome to the Class vs. Crass Gaming Podcast, which is a 1-hour podcast about all the latest and greatest in gaming with these three wonderful hosts. Yes, I'm one of them. I am off my intro. I'm already stumbling through this intro. I'm just like, can I just restart? No. It's the best
2020 or the intro? Because 2020
can we redo both? Can we just redo both? Instead of redoing, can we just move forward? Just to 2021.
There you go.
Yeah. What you drinking there, sir?
Zevia.
Very nice. I'm your host, Hey Jay. Joining me as always, except for last week, RGT85.
Howdy.
Back from trudging in the sewage.
Yeah, it's always fun, let me tell you.
Did you take a nice shower after that?
I mean, you wear boots, so it doesn't really get on you.
Okay.
Also, fuck that.
It sucks.
And also joining us tonight is the man who can properly wear a mustache and a beard. The man with a very fine ass, Greg Vargas.
I have a friend.
You have a what?
What is that? A pancake ass.
The thing is, as long as you don't stand, no one will ever know.
I'm constantly sliding down in my chair.
It'll be the biggest surprise if we ever go to a convention and people will be like, "There's the man with a very fine ass," and then instant disappointment.
Fuck it. What are you trying to tell me?
Actually, I don't know. I've never really stared at your butt. But if it is your first time joining us, welcome. It is a 1-hour podcast where we go over what we've been playing for the past week. We have a lot of time on our hands to play games these days. And then the headlines. We don't have so many of those this week. Other than the most interesting one is the Mario rumors. So we're going to be talking about the Mario rumors a bit, as well as anything else you guys want to talk about. And then the end will be the lightning round. That's where we take your topics, your questions, and we toss it up for conversation, debate, whatever it is. If it's a slow week, maybe we'll talk about Xbox's monthly subscription plan, because that's always a nice chock full topic to bite into. Enough of me. Ecosystem. Which of you have been playing Resident Evil 3 this past week?
I have
not. So feel free to talk about what'd you guys think?
I mean, if you have an afternoon, you can get through the game.
I'm seeing a lot of people saying 5-6 hours.
My playthrough was under 5.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was about the same, except for a really, really... Well, I was playing the PC version, but I had a really, really bad bug. And it's like so hard just to figure it out on your own, especially when something's wrong. But I ended up moving past it. But I think, I was probably about the same, if not just a little bit longer.
Is it full price?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a $60 game because they included an online mode with it, which is... Have you played it, Greg?
No, I haven't played the Resistance part of it at all.
In theory, it's not bad. In execution, it's fucking horrible.
Now, the Resident Evil 2...
Is it like that one that released like not too long ago? What was it? It was like the multiplayer only one that was Umbrella Corps.
No. This basically is in vein of the Predator and Friday the 13th.
Oh yeah. It's the 4-on-1 kind of deal.
4-on-1. But it's not really 4-on-1 because the mastermind basically so there's 4 survivors and they're basically trying to escape an area. Each area is timed. In order to escape an area, there's like a main point of the area, and you have to find like 3 items to bring to that area. The problem is that if you have a somewhat, I'm not even saying a good mastermind, but if you have a somewhat competent mastermind, it's like impossible to beat it because it's 3 different segments. So like, there's 5 different characters. Yeah, there's 5 different characters you could choose from, each with their own. There's 6. I don't know. It's 5 or 6. Each with their own strengths and weaknesses, and then. The problem is it still plays like Resident Evil, but you have to take into account that the mastermind can drop a zombie right on top of you and then drop a trap right on top of you and then drop a super attack right on top of you, which is like the Birkin, the mutated Birkin. And then and then you have to try to save your teammates because they're down. Like, it just doesn't work, especially with the time limit. It's just way too fucking chaotic. and like next thing you know, like you're screwed. You're absolutely screwed. So
And I haven't talked about the bug that I had, but I feel like Capcom has a real problem with balancing like difficulty levels. I feel like I don't know if it's something that because they keep reusing the RE engine, if it's a problem, but like the same types of bugs I keep encountering like game to game are pretty similar. I don't know.
see, I had one bug where it went to save and like an autosave and it never saved. So that autosave icon, I didn't even talk about it in my review because it was at the end of the game. Like literally at the end of the game. But when I beat the game, I couldn't save right before I beat the game because it wouldn't let me. And then when I tried to go back into my save file, it just like the whole game was just like totally borked. And it was fine to me because I didn't plan on playing it through again because I was just like, okay, whatever. But it actually affected achievements and stuff as well. And I didn't well, it like wouldn't give me any achievements for like beating the game or anything. And I was just like whatever because I didn't care about the extra costumes or the difficulty or whatever. But I think the RE engine is great, and I think what's there for the single player is a great game. It's just way too short. They removed things from the original Resident Evil 3 and then added in new things. Like they got rid of the clock tower, they got rid of the park, and now there's a hospital. But to me, they should have either done one of two
and
things.
the choices too.
Yeah,
I thought that was a big thing that was missing.
And they actually removed things from Resident Evil 2 as well, where a zombie would grab you and you could take out your knife and just, stab them in the head if you had a knife, and then you would lose that knife, where that's not in the game anymore. If they grab you, you're getting bit, no questions asked. I think if they would end the boarding up of windows, you can't do that anymore. And the dismemberment, the zombie dismemberment is definitely a lot less than in Resident Evil 2. You could blow away legs and stuff like that, and it would crawl towards you. That's not in this game. Yeah. I think as a whole, Resident Evil 3 does look better because of the lighting engine. The lighting in the game is absolutely gorgeous, and like the fire effects and shit like that looks great. It's just they should have either people don't play Resident Evil to play an online component. If they want to play the co-op stuff, like that's one thing. But as far as like a dedicated online game, that's not needed. They should have either A, kept in all the stuff from the original game and then added in stuff to make it a longer experience, or B, split Jill and Carlos's adventures up instead of just making them the same like it was in the original game.
Giving them like something else to do. I think they like there was a lot of like, oh, you're Jill, then you're Carlos, and that was like 5 minutes long, and you're like, shit, why was I even Carlos? And it goes back, and then
well, like the hospital, probably my favorite part of the game, honestly, was the hospital with Carlos, because I felt like that was a great combination of action, scares with the mutated hunters, and puzzle solving. Because that's another thing. There's no puzzle solving in the game whatsoever, really, except for the hospital segment with Carlos. So that was actually my favorite part of the game. And another thing is Nemesis is great. Excuse me, but he's not. It's not like they made it out to be. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
he's not like the Mr. X terrified. He's just like an annoyance.
Mr. X was a better Nemesis than Nemesis was. I feel like when he came around, I was like, oh shit, I'm fucked. Whereas in this, it's very scripted, and it's like, okay, just gotta run. Like you can try to fight him, just gotta run, shoot the little electrical boxes that he's near. I mean, overall, I think it's a it's a definite step down over Resident Evil 2. I still think on its own merit, it's a good to almost great game, but I feel like there's not enough content to make it a great game. It's a 7. It's
see, I gave it an 8. So
it's a 7 or an 8. Yeah, a 7 or an 8. Anyone that gives it, like IGN gave this shit a 9. And it's like you can't give a 4-hour game essentially a 9. Like you can't, especially when it's $60. Like that's just ridiculous to me. But especially when you compare it to its predecessor.
Yeah, and it's hard too because then you consider like how fucking phenomenal the RE engine looks on it.
Oh yeah.
The lighting, the sound design.
Mm-hmm.
God, there's like a couple other things that I thought were well done. Oh, I think the continuity between the two, I felt like that was pretty strong. That they managed to, even though it still feels like it could have been a meaty piece of DLC, I still feel like there's still some continuity between what you just played the year prior and then it being a smaller package now. And that's a part I struggle with because, I didn't pay for it. I received a review code.
Yeah, so did I.
Okay. So I want to talk about this too. So I was really gung-ho about playing this, reviewing it, talking about, the different zombies from the original. And there was an embargo that came along with this that had you can't talk about this and 15 different items in a list, and then it had another portion that restricted points of the story that you couldn't share. Did that impact you at all, or did you just wait?
My thing was I didn't get a review copy until late. So it didn't matter for me. All the embargo stuff was already up by the time I got it. So I didn't even really look at the embargo. I just got my code and went about my business.
See, honestly, and this is probably one of the few times where I would have just opted for that and would rather have that gotten it after it released. I don't say that about many games, but I mean, there were so many things that I wanted to talk about, describe, especially playing through the game with I didn't take into account the bug that I had, even though it was towards the end of the game and cost me numerous hours. But, there's things that I wanted to talk about for longevity, replay value, unlocks, how weapons act, enemies that you see, and all these different things, or solving certain puzzles, or the way they tied into the game. And you couldn't talk about any of that.
You couldn't talk about it in your review?
No, it had to be. It was pretty vanilla in terms of, what you could cover. But I mean, I understand that. There's more people online. Oh, you had to play disconnected from the internet as well. Jeez. But there's more people online now because of everything. There's more people at home, consuming content on their phones, laptops, TVs, computers, whatever. So the one person that they forgot to turn off, this setting, or achievements pulled up on Steam or Xbox Live or PS4 or their screen grabs. So they had to, try and, shrinks the possibility of that happening by accident. And so I feel like they were somewhat warranted in that, even though it did. I mean, I would have much rather waited than have my hands tied a little bit.
Yeah, no, you should never have to go into a review with that. It's one thing to have the embargo of not talking about it prior to the review, but to not talk about it in the review, that seems really unless you're explicitly being asked not to reveal a plot twist or something further in the game, I think that's the only thing that should be considered off limits when you're talking about a review. Don't spoil the game, but otherwise, everything should really be free to comment and talk about.
So at the same time, I felt the pacing was really strong. That was the other thing I couldn't remember earlier. I felt like it was, pretty steady over the course of the game in terms of action events, things happening, unlocking new items, etc. I felt like it was pretty, on pace and kept to the beat throughout the game. And during that time, you do see things. So maybe that's what they were referring to, because things happen so closely together, it's hard not to spoil one thing without spoiling another, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. It's also because the game's short as hell.
Yeah.
Going back to one of your points, Sean, you said you cannot give a game a 9 out of 10 because it's $60 and it's under 4 hours. And we've had this conversation before where you say price should not matter in a review score. Because what if this game goes on sale for $20 in a year?
It's a $40 game at best, I feel.
Yeah, I'm with you. We've had this conversation before where I've knocked games for scores because I said it's not worth the money, and you said that the score should never be part of the review.
That doesn't sound like me.
Let me watch 100 episodes of Class vs. Grass and find the quote.
Give me a game. Give me a game, man.
I think I was talking about Link's Awakening, the remake, and I felt that it was a bit expensive for what you were getting, if my memory is right.
But I mean, it wasn't a 4-hour game.
No, what you're describing here with Resident Evil 3 sounds like it's a lot more of an extreme.
There are exceptions to the rules. If Nintendo made Link's Awakening a 4-hour game, then fuck that game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. But the price, the point is the price does play a point.
I don't think I would have paid full price. It's not at $59.99. game. Definitely
No.
not.
I don't think so either.
And developers need to recognize. Well, Capcom, I feel, is getting a little EA-ish in the sense of when you look at their. No.
Capcom's been on a fucking roll lately. This is their one fuck up. Now it'll be interesting to see. Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2, like they have one of the best 2019s out of any company.
When I say EA-ish, I mean greediness. When you look at what they've been pricing their games at, like I remember when they were bringing Resident Evil packages to the Switch, the pricing was ridiculous on that.
Well, I mean, they just do that to the Switch regardless. Look at anything they bring to the Switch is overpriced, which is something I've talked about a million times. But that's not necessarily indicative of other systems.
No, like in general, they're doing a good job elsewhere, but they're definitely getting greedy in some senses, specifically the Switch.
I mean, it's a business at the end of the day, though. You're out there to make money.
Yes, you are. Besides Resident Evil 3, what have you been playing?
I played
Predator.
Yeah, I played Predator. Fuck that game. And it's funny how many people disliked my video, and I will never understand why there are Predator fanboys out there. But the game is not good. The game is not good. The game at its fundamental core is not a good game. It's as simple as it is. It's nowhere. Friday the 13th has the benefit of being a campy B franchise movie. Even when during its heyday, it was still a campy franchise movie, and the game sort of translated into that. Predator has always been a big blockbuster. Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny Glover, at least the first two Predator films. You could even say about Aliens versus Predator and Predators and all that bullshit. Big blockbuster titles or movies. You can't say that this is a big blockbuster game. The frame rate is all over the place. If you're competent shooting a gun at a first-person shooter, the NPCs are absolutely worthless because they'll just like run away from you or like shoot at the ground and stuff. And playing as the Predator isn't fun. Every game I played, there was one game that I played the entire weekend where the Predator killed everyone.
Oh, it's
every other game I either escaped or we killed the Predator.
Okay, so the victims are not very good victims.
No, and that's the problem. There's no tension. There's no oh shit, it's the Predator. I'm scared. I need to run. Like there is in Friday the 13th. And Friday the 13th, you're like, I need to get the fuck away from Jason. Yeah. And this, it's like, oh, it's the Predator. Let's just shoot him. Like it wasn't good.
Well,
and,
it's the same concept as Friday the 13th, right? Like you lay traps, you hunt.
No,
completely
different. It's really a late PS3, early PS4 first-person shooter. You run, you slide, you're doing missions on the map, and then the NPCs come and try and stop you, and then the Predator can join at any time he wants because that's a human is controlling the Predator.
That's pretty lame. So like as Predator, you don't even get these like overpowered weapons. Like you can't one kill with.
You can upgrade to them, but the problem is you're not going to play well as the Predator, so it takes forever to upgrade your Predator. And the base, like you would think that if I jump down as the Predator and I do a melee attack on you, it would take a pretty quick amount of time to kill you, but it doesn't. Like you just sit there and you're slashing the guy like a fucking little kitten. And it's like, what the fuck? Like, I should be strong as hell. Like, and you have to, the whole movement system for the Predator is parkour. You're parkouring through trees and like an early Assassin's Creed style movement system. And it's just like, it's weird because it's glitchy. There's times when you'll try to get up in the tree and you can't get up in the tree because the guys are shooting at you and you're almost dead. And you're like, why am I almost dead? I'm the fucking Predator. It should be damn near impossible to kill me. Right. So it's just...
Is there a Predator movie coming out soon that this is like someone was sitting on this IP until the movie surfaced?
No. So that's what makes it even more bizarre. What they should have done is Aliens would work a hell of a lot better. If you have 4 people on an alien ship and you use like the alien isolation engine and then you have one player playing as the alien, like the possibilities for that are endless. Like that would be awesome. That would be more in line with Friday the 13th. This just feels like a shitty first-person shooter with a Predator thrown into the mix. Like I went from, okay, this is a day one purchase to there's no way I'm paying $40 for this game.
No, I feel like a mobile port at all. Like it was maybe.
No, it just doesn't feel good. Like the frame rate is just like when the match starts, the frame rate is fine, but when like you get to an area where there's like any little bit of action, it's just like it just takes a dump.
Oh, shit.
And like I don't care about stuff like that. As long as the frame rate is consistent and smooth, I don't care if it's 30, 60, 120, whatever. As long as it's consistent. If it's not consistent, that's where I have a problem with it. Like foliage just like pops up out of nowhere and it looks really awkward. Like,
do you know if people with a PS4 Pro are experiencing that as well?
I would have to assume. And if it, the PS4 Pro didn't sell that well, so in my mind, it's the same with the Xbox One X. You build the game for your most popular model, and then you can up-res it and stuff like that. And I believe there's a higher resolution on the Pro. I think it's like 1440p, but it doesn't matter. You can put all the bells and whistles into the graphics, but the engine still sucks, and
you can't polish a turd.
Exactly. Like you just have a pretty
make it really smooth, Greg. Really smooth.
How fucking hard is that turd?
I don't know. Put a grinder to it.
And then I played Saints Row 3 or Saints Row 4 on the Switch.
Oh yeah,
that was fun.
That's an IP I feel doesn't get a lot of recognition. Like it's out there.
It's because the first two games wanted to be GTA clones.
Right.
The third game was kind of like, let's get a little batshit crazy, and then the fourth game isn't even. I mean, it's kind of a GTA clone, but it's more of like a superhero game.
Is that the one with the dildos?
That's the one with the fucking superhuman powers where you run. Like cars in the game are pointless because you run faster than the car. So it's like, what's the point of the car? And the funny thing is, the game is like, oh, this is how you trick out your car. And it's like, well, why do I want to trick? I go faster. I jump over buildings and shit. There's no point to the cars. So like shit like that is weird. But it's like Mars Attacks and Grand Theft Auto and South Park had a baby.
That's a crazy baby.
So yeah, that was fun. And I've been playing The Tourist, which is on sale right now on the eShop. I finally got around to playing it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun.
That's good. How about you, Greg? What have you been playing?
So obviously Resident Evil 3. Jumped into Doom Eternal for a little bit. I was checking that out. Played, I don't know, maybe like an hour. I'm going to probably get back into that. Playing my favorite Mario Kart game ever, Mario Kart Double Dash. I picked it up again.
Don't like that one.
That's my fuck you, man. That's the best one.
I don't like that one. No. I think Mario Kart 8 is the best one now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I would say Mario Kart 8 is pretty damn good, but I think, I always return back to my favorite, and that's Double Dash. So I've been playing that a lot in the living room, which is also my home office now, which is also my gym, which is also the restaurant we go to for date night. It's a lot of things these days. But other than that, I played a couple more of the DLC challenges for Ultimate Alliance. And then I think that's it. Still on the Rocket League Modern Warfare grind.
Yeah, I got into quite a few multiplayer games myself this past week. Actually, I took one suggestion from last week's episode. I think it was Albert. Might not be Albert. It was somebody who recommended Good Job. They said like, yeah. So I finally picked up Good Job because I got.
How much did it cost? How much was the price?
Too much. $25 Canadian. And I was expecting like a really good couch co-op, kind of like Overcooked. I really enjoy Overcooked when it's not stressing me out and making me angry. Good Job is, I don't know. I'm on the third, so you go through floors going up this corporation, and each floor has 3-4 levels. And each level is all about doing a job. And I was expecting mayhem, craziness, and stress, but it's really chill. Like they're just like, oh, we need to reroute a cable. So then you go grab the cable, and then you tediously go around. Or if you want, you can just destroy everything. Like you don't get punished that much for destroying things. And it's kind of funny, but it's funny once. Like there's one we were trying to get this dude that we're supposed to wheel into a meeting, and he was behind these glass doors, and we couldn't figure out a way to open the door. I'm like, get this door open. And I grabbed a chair, and I I slingshotted it through the walls, destroyed 2 walls, and then I wheeled the guy to his meeting, and it cost $50,000. And yeah, that was funny. But after that, it was like I don't know. I don't feel it's worth $25, and I only played as couch co-op. So
You
that's
shouldn't factor in price into the review, though.
yeah, that's what I've been saying from the start.
Just kidding.
So-
I've heard people love that game. So you're the first person that I've talked to that's played it that didn't like it.
I was expecting more. It's a simple little puzzle game that just doesn't keep my attention. That's really
Are you playing it by yourself or with someone?
No, I'm playing with someone.
Yeah.
Oh.
So playing that, got back into Fortnite yesterday because now the Deadpool skin is available, and I paid for the battle pass like a month ago, and then I didn't play the game for a month, and I'm like, oh, I might as well cash in on this $10 I dropped on this game. So I got Deadpool, and yeah, I've just been grinding that a bit. It's kind of been fun again. I don't know, maybe there's more bad players in the game now, but I've been killing a lot of people, so that's why it's fun. Versus when you're just getting shot as soon as you drop, that's not so fun.
Yeah.
Just want through your controller. It's the load screens. Like you're like load, taking the bus, drop, you get shot right away. You're just like, why am I alive? Why do I do this? it's so pointless.
Well, I think that's like, I don't know. That's why I'm glad
You
know,
get
Modern
teabagged on
Warfare-
the way out too. It's like,
I'm glad there's another like blood money that it's called now that you can like go and collect money. You have to deposit it, and you get respawned during the match. And so there's like other stuff other than the battle royale, and of course like the regular multiplayer and stuff.
yeah. Well, I stick to the team mode because at least when I die, I can respawn right away, and I can just find the person that shot me and shoot them in the back. So it's good.
Yeah, dude.
What else? Oh, Persona 5. I'm grinding for my platinum trophy. It's going well. I'm at 106 hours. We're getting there. And what else? I don't think I played anything new. Played some Mario Party. Lost to my son. A little bit bitter about that. And I don't know why.
Switch one?
Yeah. Super. Is it Super Mario Party?
Yeah.
The games are pretty fun. It's pretty good Mario Party.
It's all right.
Okay.
Should have had better online.
Yeah, like it'd be good. What was that thing? I played Carcassonne. First time I experienced the stream broadcast service. So we tried to do a board game night on Friday. And so someone else, a friend, hosted a game of Carcassonne on Steam and then broadcast their game so that I could control when it was my turn. It worked like garbage. Like it was like playing in the 90s with dial-up modem. I had to wait maybe 2-3 seconds on every turn so that the board would actually clear up so I could actually see it because it was just like so blurry. But hey, we spent 2-3 hours and we played a whole match. So I didn't even know you could do that on Steam. So I'm gonna look at more multiplayer games that we can do that with. And I think that's pretty much it. Touching a lot of the backlog. Next week though, Final Fantasy VII.
I wish you would touch my backlog.
Wow. You got pushed.
I know it's so weird that I know so many people now that are like, announcing that they're excited for Final Fantasy VII, and oh, we only got a couple more fucking.
Are you getting it?
No.
Or Sean, are you getting it?
Yeah, I will. I saw a bunch of I know someone that's reviewing it, and I got an early copy from a store, and he showed me some gameplay footage of it, and it's fucking sick.
Yeah, it's either going to be. I might also pick up Witcher 3 the complete. It's 70% off right now, and looks like a good quarantine game.
It is.
You played Witcher 3?
Yeah, I played on the Switch.
How far did you get?
I played it for a while. I didn't beat it, but I played it for a while.
You don't strike me as an RPG player.
I like action RPGs.
That's fair.
I think didn't Witcher get a patch for Switch like 2 months ago or something?
Yes, it did. It looks a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Really? They improved
Text
it. Wow.
and background images and draw distance.
They basically gave you a lot of options that you can do. You could do like different anti-aliasing. You can sharpen stuff. You can deep blur. Like it pretty much gave you like a debug mode for it.
Mm-hmm. And you never got into Animal Crossing. I'm reading the chat. Nobody here picked up Animal Crossing?
Nope, I refuse. If I win it in a giveaway, yeah. I will take it. I've had tons of people offer to give me one. I'm like, no, keep your money. That's not how I'm playing this game. The only way I will play it is if I win it in a giveaway.
If I win it, I'll give it to the chat. I can have it.
Wow, you don't even want to try it. I would play
Maybe,
it if it was 20 or $30, honestly.
No, I mean it's got enough stuff in it. It's an ever-growing game too, and I could definitely see why people get addicted to it. I could definitely see why people are enjoying it. I don't care. Like I don't care enough to buy it.
You know,
If that
catch
makes
all the
sense.
tarantula and the eggs. Like everybody I know is playing it, and every day I'm looking at it, I'm like, do I? So I always go through this moment. I'm like, I should really just jump into it, play it, drop the money. And then I wait. I let that feeling like stay there for a good 10, 20 minutes. And I'm like, no, I'd get bored of it after an hour. Like, I can't. I don't think it's a kind of, there are achievements. That's kind of what pulled me into it. There is an achievement list. Like that would probably hook me in, but.
Is your son playing it?
Well, no, it's not bought, but all of my girlfriend's friends, they're all playing it. And everybody on my Twitter apparently is playing it. And Brett from Nintendo Enthusiast is playing it and making some cool stuff in there. And then now people are like making stores and like all this custom, like there's Jedi robes now, and I'm like, oh shit, there's so much going on. But I'm trying to control how many full price new games I'm buying every month, and this month Final Fantasy VII gets my money. That's even though Animal Crossing was last month. But.
Still 12 games a year, quite a significant purchase.
Yeah, for full price, and that's just like my target. I'll probably go over it easily.
Yeah.
All right, Greg, ready to do your segment of what's the chat playing?
Yeah, dude. We're gonna turn to the chat now, and we want to know what you guys have been playing. Go ahead and sound off in the chat below, and any interesting ones, we will read them out.
What was that thing we kept saying last week about? Oh, hilarity ensues. Was that the?
And I do not want that to make a return, please. No.
You missed a good podcast last week, Sean.
Evidently.
Yeah. While you were in the shits.
It's not poop water. It's rainwater.
Well, rainwater is just poop water that's been filtered through a lot of processes.
It comes from the sky, man.
Yeah, but it's all, you can't make new water, so it's all...
Nice. Isaiah, Resident Evil 4, which console are you playing?
I'm going to say
if you're playing on console. No.
You don't think so?
Play on the Cube.
Huh?
Play it on the Cube, man.
I don't know.
Play it on the Wii.
Yeah, see? I have it on the Wii, and I've never played it. I got it from Connor at Too Many Games.
I remember.
Yeah. I was like, I've got to play this. Never played it.
It's better. To me, I loved it on the Wii because the motion controls made it a lot better.
Once I get through my Castlevania business, I'm going to go into Resident Evil. Or Devil May Cry.
Those.
Shit, I don't know.
Nice. And then Meters, Gravity Rush 2.
Oh, that's a good
did
one.
you guys play Gravity Rush or Gravity Rush 2? Wasn't the second also Vita exclusive?
Nope.
No.
They remade them all for PS4.
Oh, shit. Well,
which is how I recommend playing them. That way you don't hurt your hands on the stupid Vita. Do you guys have Vitas?
No,
Nope.
I want
Never
one.
owned one.
You want one?
Yeah, hella bad.
Really?
I just bought one.
I can probably give you one. If I can get I gave it to someone, but they don't use it, so I'm gonna see if they can give it to you.
1,000%.
Really?
Yeah, I've been watching and waiting to buy one, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. That's my next console to pick up.
All right, I'll see if I can hook you up.
Nice. And then Zed's Dead, Luigi's Mansion 3.
I gotta get into that. That's one I want to pick up when it's on sale. Kakarot's another one I want to pick up. It's on sale right now, but it's 33% off. I want 50% off.
You didn't play Luigi's Mansion 3?
I did not. I picked Link's Awakening instead, which I regret.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were definitely made.
Luigi's Mansion is much better.
I heard. It's a new experience. Like, I played Link's Awakening on the Game Boy and on the Game Boy Color, and I don't know why I picked that.
You played the DX version.
I did play the DX, the Color Dungeon. Why is Meters banned? He did not like the motion controls in the Wii version.
It's so weird now that, after seeing that, I'm like, oh, Resident Evil 4. But then I look at the Resident Evil 3 remake and look at Resident Evil 4 coming next. And I think
it'll be Code Veronica.
You think so? I would
Needs
fucking
to
love
be.
that.
Code Veronica is the game that's in the style of Resident Evil 1 through 3.
Yeah.
As far as what you would do with Resident Evil 4, you'd have to do so much different because Resident Evil 4 is such a different game.
Yeah, I think they'll stop at the like OG trilogy game or OG games because they're still Resident Evil 0. I got a PC reskin a little bit ago, but it still wasn't.
This is all so foreign to me. I remember when you guys or when Sean would talk Castlevania like a year ago, knew nothing about it. And I'm looking at the Resident Evil like timeline on all the games released. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around it. It's.
Are you playing? So if you go through them, how are you going to play them?
What?
Are you playing like for 2? Are you going to
God,
play?
that's so hard, man.
Yeah, so this one's different because they've done so many remasters and remakes. I don't know if I should just like.
I think have you played any of them?
None.
I think you should start at the originals.
I think so.
Because the remasters are way different experiences and different,
Well,
like different games altogether almost.
how have you never played Resident Evil 1?
I've never liked horror games.
Pussy.
No, it's just it's a choice, sir. It's not a fear thing. It's just I don't enjoy it. Some people like vanilla ice cream, some people like chocolate, and there's the weirdos that like strawberry.
I like all 3.
Well, that's you.
I made my grandma.
You
buy
have
it
a
for
very
me.
diverse palate to enjoy all the ice cream flavors. Have you ever had? Do you like pistachio?
Dude, love pistachio ice cream.
Yeah. What's the weirdest ice cream you've ever had?
Famunda cheese.
What?
Huh?
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Cheese?
Yeah, just next topic, Jason. All right, so Mario rumors, because you're obviously doing an awesome job of calculating the time on this show.
Maybe I'm catching you on purpose, sir.
There's
Mario rumors. There's
can't
4
fill up
3D
8
games
minutes?
coming out. Maybe. What do you want? Which ones do you want?
First off, we had this discussion last night on the Spawncast. Is Super Mario Sunshine the worst 3D Mario
Yes.
game?
Yes. Isn't that a wildly accepted
There are
truth?
so many people that say otherwise.
They probably like Sonic the Hedgehog as well.
I like Sonic. To me,
Exactly.
I don't think Super Mario Sunshine is a bad game at all. But when you talk about Galaxy 2, 3D World, Odyssey, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine is the worst out of those games. Okay, Meters, what's the worst then? What is the worst 3D Mario game? And we're not gonna say a single word until he says it.
Don't say 3D Land, you piece of
Odyssey.
shit.
Well, 3D Land doesn't count because it was on a damn handheld.
And I fucking love 3D Land.
No,
And
3D
it
Land.
was a
3D Land was pretty weak.
I played the snot out of it.
Odyssey, are you out of your mind?
Odyssey's not worse than Sunshine.
Tra-la-la-la-la-la.
I can't.
Galaxy,
La-la-la-la-la.
are you out of your gourd?
Hey, it's like the ice creams, man. Everybody can have an opinion.
Exactly, D-Dub. D-Dub was watching last night. Everyone kept arguing that Sunshine wasn't the worst one, but when you asked them what the worst one was, nobody would answer.
Really?
Yeah.
But
64.
It's one thing to say, like you said, it's not a bad game. It's a 3D Mario game. It's good.
There has to be a worst game.
Yeah.
There has to be the bottom of the barrel. And to me, Sunshine is the bottom of the barrel. Sunshine is a game that if it never got remade or made better, I wouldn't care.
I'd care if they made it better.
Well, what I think they need to do is Galaxy and 3D World, just make them HD. You ain't got to do shit with them. Maybe with 3D World, do something like you did with Captain Toad, where you added in the Donk City stuff in it.
That'd be good.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Galaxy, I feel like you just put an HD coat of paint on it. Sunshine and 64 are the two interesting ones because I feel like the game that could benefit the most would be 64 because 64 games have aged with all the grace of fucking most white women.
Wow.
Yo, white man. Go on Tinder and look at chicks 30 to 40. They're either hot as fuck or they look like a catcher's mitt. Like there's no in between. There's no in between with that shit, man. It blows my I'll look at a chick, I won't look at her age. I'm like, this bitch is like 60 years old. It's like I'm 32. I'm like 30. What? Let's get the fuck out of here.
Those essential oils, man.
But no, a lot of white chicks don't age great. What was I going with this? Super Mario 64 could use the most revamping that could benefit the most because you have this beautiful castle segment.
Yeah.
And then you have so much to do within the castle. I don't think you just do a simple HD upgrade of that. I think you try to build that from the ground up. Sunshine, I think you could get away with doing, 1080p and improving the controls with that game as well. I feel like if they do anything, right? 64 needs to be the game that they.
The thing is, 64
with.
got a lot of new content as well with the DS remake. So you take that version and you give it a coat of polish. You give it the HD graphics, and then you add even more. You add more stars and more content.
Well, even just what if they did like OG1 and then OG2, which is a revisited DS version of the game, and then or just like the Halo. What is the Combat Evolved? The original. You can play the original Halo with its Halo graphics, or you can do.
Oh, that would be cool.
Make both available.
Yeah, have it like
Nintendo's too lazy.
Nintendo wouldn't do that. They never do that.
But they're also greedy enough to do it. So.
But which game they've never offered like an older version of a game, because once they remake a game, that's like the definitive version of that game at that point. It's like George Lucas and Star Wars. You don't get to watch the movies before.
Exactly, John. Remake 64 using the Odyssey engine. It's all you have to do. Yeah. That is all you have to do.
And they teased it. I mean, they gave us that bonus level, and they're just like, look how great this would be. And you're like...
A team of Nintendo developers couldn't do that when you have people randomly on the internet making...
do that, yes.
Yeah.
Will they do that is a completely different story.
That's what I'm saying. There's guys on the internet or girls that make, all these like videos of Mario running in the Unreal Engine and shit, and these are like side projects, and they're,
right.
All these random projects, but it's like, come on. Like...
Also, when you look, we all know Mario 64 did not age well. Look at a game that didn't age that badly, which was Zelda Wind Waker. And when that got remade for the Wii U, they didn't touch that much about it, but it felt, at least to me, it felt like a huge... What are you rolling your eyes at now?
I'm rolling my eyes at Meters.
Where is he?
So Meters loves Super Mario 64, but doesn't love Odyssey. I don't get that. To me, Odyssey is the sequel to Super Mario 64.
Well, it's not the same, and I can kind of get where I prefer 64. I preferred my experience with 64 over Odyssey. I didn't like the idea of Odyssey of tripping over moons left and right. I felt it was... I got where they were getting with it, but to me, it just made the... Like in 64, when you got a star, it just felt like a bigger deal. Like, you opened up and they're like, this is the star you're looking for, and you could stumble upon a few other stars. And it was kind of... they didn't straight up tell you what to do. It was kind of a riddle, and you had to figure out how to get the star. This one, you're exploring a world, and you're like, what's this rock? Oh, there's a moon there. Oh, I coughed. There's a moon there. It just kind of weakens the nature of acquiring moons. You're like, you can't even avoid getting a moon is probably more of a challenge than finding a moon in Mario Odyssey. Otherwise,
because there's a lot of them.
Graphics, movements, and all that, I think it's a very polished game. It's a fantastic game in terms of the world that it is. But it also felt a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. The whole, you're chasing Bowser, trying to stop his wedding, versus Bowser invaded the castle and you have to free the castle. I don't know. I think that's
so long, yeah, Bowser.
Yeah, I think that story is more.
I wonder. Do you think they changed that? They changed that voice thing though.
It's King Bowser. So long.
I know,
King
but do they change it? Because
Of course.
Because everyone in the world does not say that.
Yeah.
Nobody in the world says "so long, King Bowser." We all say what it says.
Has he
so long, King Bowser?
Has he ever been referenced as King Bowser after that?
I don't think so.
Because I remember it was King Koopa, and then he got the name Bowser, and then it became King Bowser. But never again did we hear the King moniker.
Deke brought up a good point. Zelda 35th anniversary next year.
That's Breath of the Wild 2.
Either that, or you could get an HD collection. Just take all the Wii U, all the work they put into the Wii U ports. I mean,
like they did that on the GameCube. You had
Force
the collection.
Oh, Master.
No, you had the. Yeah.
Which Nintendo's so weird about, like, anniversary collections. Like, no.
But the thing is, you could play most of those Zelda. I mean, you could play Zelda and Zelda 2 and A Link to the Past already.
Yeah.
So they just do 64 games and
well, they did like that Kirby one where they had like all the games bundled, and then the Mario one they did. What was that? His 20
on the Wii?
Yeah,
the red case?
25th.
That was 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
And then for 30th, you got
That's
Mario.
So
Maker.
crazy. Yeah, I remember buying it.
I still have it. Yeah.
And then you got Mario
It's not my
Maker
original copy.
for the third.
I don't think Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be 2020.
Not with what
just
happened to this year.
I don't. Well, are we? What are the topics for this shit show? I don't have the thing up.
What?
Sorry.
What's the other topic?
That's it.
Really?
Yeah,
You're
I was
not gonna talk about
pacing.
The
I was
Last of Us?
pacing the show quite well before you took the steering wheel, sir.
You're not going to talk about The Last of Us?
I don't care about The Last of Us.
It's delayed indefinitely.
You don't care about it either.
I do. I think it's interesting because why I think it's interesting why they're delaying it, because Naughty Dog isn't delaying it, it's Sony delaying it. And really I feel the reason that Sony is delaying it is because of the monetary aspect of it.
I'm sure it's both.
No, I think it all boils down to the monetary.
If they said like, hey, we have a chance right now.
They've delayed that game 3 times now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. They're like, okay, we're going to delay it in the midst of everything. We can get, as much money as possible at the end of the day when it fully releases, so that people can buy both physical and digital copies. At the same time, this gives you, the studio, another 5. Here's a 2-month plan, a 5-month plan, and a 6-month plan of things you can polish in the meantime. And it's a win. If they even did something like that, I feel like, which they probably did, it's a win-win for both parties. So. But I don't feel like I'm not boo-hoo about it,
I think it's something that potentially could bite them in the ass, because my philosophy right now is everyone is stuck at home. Everyone is wanting to play video games because that's one of the things that you can do right now without, you can't. I mean, technically you could buy it physically. You just do the GameStop door pickup or whatever, or you can go to Walmart. Obviously it's not as big as it is right now. But the problem is that let's say they release it in the fall, like most people think they're going to. I don't see the average person giving a fuck about, late summer, early fall. I don't see the average person wanting to spend money on video games. They're going to want to spend money on movies. They're going to want to spend money on going to restaurants. They're going to want to spend money on going on vacations and going to amusement parks and things like that. Things that they can't do right now that have been taken for granted for them. I think the video game industry is going to see a bit of a lull during that time because that's something that's easily accessible right now. So I think delaying it because of monetary value, obviously The Last of Us 2 is going to be a very big game, but I think if they released it at the current time in May and they release it at the fall, I think it would have been, I don't think it will make a difference. And if anything, it could potentially hurt.
You brought up something that I didn't really even think about too. Yeah. I mean, you're spot on with people's dispensable income right now, being accessible. But I mean, what does that look like, 4 months down the road when no one has work for 4 months, when people's mortgages are in the shitter,
and the housing market crashes, and then RGT walks in and he's like, all right, bitches, time to buy a house.
But also, if you guys think it's a monetary thing, why wouldn't they cancel Ghost of Tsushima, which is just a month later? Like, it's the same.
Or delay it. Why is Final Fantasy still coming out? Why did Resident Evil come out? I'm sorry, did Animal Crossing see a huge dip in sales? No, it's selling like crack cocaine, and now you can't even get a Nintendo Switch. Scalpers are scalping the Switch for over $500 right now.
Dude, I've seen so many on Marketplace for $400.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, there's something weird going on at Sony. Like, I feel in the last year, everything Sony's been doing has just been just weird.
Well, like I said, it wasn't a
they went backwards.
It wasn't a Naughty Dog decision. It seems like it was a Sony decision.
Yeah.
So.
And the whole everything they're doing with this game is just very suspicious. Remember when we were talking about the whole PAX thing and how Sony was the first to pull out there, and we were like, this is all weird, and just the constant delays. I'm not gonna speculate, but yeah.
Dude, I would like to see a timeline of everything that was announced and their delays. I mean, there's got to be a pattern somewhere in there to see, like, they delayed, this game. They pulled out of PAX. They pulled out of E3. They canceled PlayStation Experience. They.
You want to see a specific Sony timeline of their decisions?
Dude, if I wonder if that would kind of shed some light, or like help understand or see something, because looking at the big picture of.
Well, if someone
when
wants
this
a
all
fun
happened.
project for the week, let's map out Sony and see what they're up to.
Hey.
All their decisions, announcements, including the IPs they own and all that. I'm sure
If
there's
anybody wants to do
something
that,
there.
hit me up because I would love to help out or do it, and anybody to help me do it, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd find something interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the lightning round. We got 10 minutes.
I saw some questions.
There was some good one around.
Are we about to
Cooking
go
Mama.
into a big drought of games? No, I just don't think you're gonna. There's a bit of uncertainty right now with everything. I think things are gonna get better pretty quickly over the next month or so. I think I could go on a whole tangent about things, but I think for the most part, I think things will be better probably in a month or so. So everyone's just kind of keeping it quiet. I think you'll learn about a lot of stuff. I think you'll learn about a lot of stuff during E3 week in June, obviously. So you'll sort of see 2020, the rest of the plans for it during June. I think it's just going to be a little wait and see approach, but I think once we get into June, everything will be going back to normal as far as video game industry is concerned. What do you think of the new Cooking Mama game? There's a lot of about it. It wasn't a crypto mining bit thing. No,
I'm surprised at how little that game's been advertised. I only found it because I was looking for a Cooking Mama game on Switch, and
of course you were.
There's nothing wrong. I like to impress Mama sometimes,
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, so there we go.
Cheers me on.
Will Ghost of Tsushima be delayed? Who knows? Who knows if that's going to be delayed?
I think they see Last of Us as more that's their Mario, and they're probably looking at lining it up with the PS5 or something.
Where'd you get that wine glass?
How is EA 2K going to take everyone's money without sports here? They're still going to make those games. Don't you worry. They're still making those games.
Never seen my glass before, Greg?
No. I like it.
Due to the quarantine, will the release of the PS5 be delayed? Both companies have pretty much doubled down that they're coming out in holiday season. I think one of the important things is that China is getting very close to up and running again, business as usual, especially in a lot of areas. So Sony has gone on record as saying that their manufacturing for PS5 stuff is now back to normal for the most part. And obviously that is the China thing. The PS5 supposedly overheating meters. Please watch my video that I put up at the end of the day. You want to know where that PS5 overheating rumor came from? A YouTube comment. A comment left by some random person named Jeff Rickle on YouTube.
Jeff Rickle.
Fuck you, Jeff Rickle, bitch.
And the only it's a bizarre situation. I break it down in my video, and I've even had developers say it's a bunch of bullshit. But what happened was Windows Central ended up retweeting the comment for some fucking reason, I guess just to drum up some controversy, and then a bunch of YouTubers just went off the rails with it and took it as fact. And I'm like, did we even look up who this Jeff Rickle person was? The only thing you could find about him is that he used to have an open Twitter account where he would say how it's doom and gloom for the PlayStation. So it's he's a known Xbox fanboy. So yeah, Rich has got to take an L on that one, D-Dub. I love Rich, but I saw that video. I was like, come on, motherfucker. I mean, I get it. You get your views, but you should have. He shouldn't have. There's a way to do videos like that, and I feel like he just leaned towards the wrong way. I think if he would have talked about it, but not thought that it was going to affect the PlayStation 5 and said, this guy's probably just talking out his ass, I think it would have been fine. But he kind of leaned into it does seem like this could be an issue. Yeah. And
Welcome to RGT's YouTube masterclass.
I mean, people are free to do whatever the fuck they want, though. Who am I to disagree? But did I watch the audience-free WrestleMania? Yes, I'm watching it right here.
Are they still going forward with that?
It's on right now on the second screen.
Yeah, I saw a clip of that. It was very awkward, a week ago.
It's very strange, but we're getting used to it.
That's honestly everybody's description. My buddy and I were playing Call of Duty last night. He's like, yeah, it's fucking weird.
Because they'll say a line and then it's just silence, isn't it?
Jay, did you play Gato Roboto? Little. Okay.
It's a fun little Metroidvania game for like $5. It's worth it.
How could one be an Xbox fanboy? I don't know. I don't know how you're really like. Okay, so my coverage of stuff leans more towards Nintendo Switch than PS5 and Xbox One. You know why it does that? Because that's what people seem to be interested in on my channel. I will still talk about PS5. I'll talk about PS4. I'll talk about Xbox One. I'll talk about Xbox Series X whenever the fuck I want to. But I do take sort of, a deeper look at Switch stuff because that's what people like on the channel. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like. I like the Switch because of the versatility of it, because I like to lay in bed and play games, and I like to sit on the couch and play games and have something going on the TV and, working on other things. I could do that with the Switch. With the PS4 and the Xbox One, I have to be sitting in front of my television, dedicating time to those. But as far as like a fanboy is concerned, I do lean towards Nintendo coverage, but I don't consider myself a fanboy because I love all the platforms have their own strengths and weaknesses. The PS4 takes way too fucking long to download stuff. The Xbox One doesn't have a great library of first-party games. The Nintendo Switch is severely lacking in online features. I don't think a fanboy would sit here and say things like that.
He's a Nintendo enthusiast.
There you go. Just say it, Rich, some more.
I just think like fanboyism, like in general, is so stupid.
But there are some fanboys though.
But if you apply it to any other medium, like, oh yeah, I fucking love tapes. Let me tell you how much I love tapes. If you like CDs, fuck you. If you like records, go to hell. Fucking tapes are the best things ever. Shove them up my cassette. But it's like,
wow,
any other medium out there. Like I said, like it just sounds so idiotic.
Well, didn't you? No, that was story based. Like, don't you have that in the comic book universe where it's DC, Marvel? But
oh yeah, DC is trash. Marvel.
Like I find that there's a lot of, I don't know, Star Wars, Star Trek is another one.
But the only reason why I Marvel over DC has just been, I mean, can you argue with the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the sites it's grown?
No, but even before they jumped to the cinematic universes, there was always that comic book war of, is it DC or is it Marvel? Which is the better comic books and the better stories and the better heroes and anti-heroes and all that and the better villains. DC has the better villains. Marvel has the better heroes. There, it's settled.
We talked about The Last of Us delay. Jason doesn't give a fuck. Jason is going to play Resident Evil after Castlevania. Trying to decide between an Xbox Series X or a PlayStation 5. Don't make that decision now. Wait until we learn about the games. Because at the end of the day, and the price. But at the end of the day, games are what matters. So I don't buy into this whole one system's stronger than. I don't give a fuck.
Either way, save your money. Shit.
Which system has the games, man? Which system has the games I want? That's what I'm interested in.
Yep. Did you run through them too fast?
No, it just looks like Game Pass is a good reason. I'll give you that.
Game Pass,
but you could buy an Xbox One S. Or even you could buy an Xbox One X right now, which is being liquidated at many places, and buy that and then not have to worry about it because all the games that come out on the Xbox Series X have to work on the Xbox One for at least the first year or two.
There you go.
I like your answer. I'm forgiven.
Yeah, like you could get a laptop for not that much more these days, and you could get Game Pass on your laptop as long as it's not a Mac.
I think if you had, honestly, a Switch and a PC, you'd be able to play, I mean, like the majority of everything, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's usually like, even if it does come out on PS4, I mean, it's more likely to come to PC later, or if not PC and PS4 or Switch and PC. I get a lot of emails from press for like PC and Switch releases.
Can't you play PlayStation exclusives on PC now through that PlayStation Now service? I know you can't do all of them, and I know it's a pretty shitty platform, but theoretically you can.
It's more limited and it's more expensive.
They dropped the price, I thought.
It's still more expensive than the
really still. Wow. I hear it's very laggy and stuff. So, but hey, maybe they'll get it good eventually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
PS Now, it's like the worst advertised service in gaming, I find.
Yeah, they got rid of PlayStation View. I was pissed. I liked it.
What about PlayStation Home?
What's that? Is that the Hangout one with like 3D avatars and shit?
I never got into it. By the time I got, I think they launched it on the PS3, if I remember. By the time I got into that ecosystem, they had shut it down already.
Oh.
I don't think I missed much. I'm with Gadget Mike. I'm a couch gamer type of guy as well, which is why I don't favor the Switch handheld mode too much.
Yeah, I mean, I play it when I poop a lot, and I poop a lot. So.
Oh, cool. How many times a day?
I just had my gastro appointment last week, but I told him it's about like 6 or 7 times a day.
Really?
I'm like a doo-doo factory, man. Like everything I eat just comes right out.
I was not expecting an honest answer to that, and I was definitely not expecting that high of a count.
Oh, you want an honest answer?
Learn a little bit more. Welcome to the Learn a Bit More About Greg hour. Man. Yeah, see, Brett says Game Pass and PS Now are both $10. You guys gonna try the free Stadia? No. Just no. You cannot get me to play that platform. I am not touching it.
I don't.
It's like a drug dealer with the worst drug.
It is. Like, no, it's.
You want a free Stadia? No, I do not.
Like, you cannot convince me. There is nothing on that platform. I don't even want to try that. DC has the best characters and animation. They have either great or terrible live action movies. Yeah, pretty much what Unforgiven says regarding Gato Roboto.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yes, Kat. Stadia is free for 3 months for anyone who has YouTube Premium. So, see, YouTube
and you
Premium.
all should have YouTube Premium because it helps us money-wise.
It helps Sean mostly.
Well, fucking CPMs are doo-doo butter right now.
This podcast doesn't even make enough to buy me toothpaste.
You don't need toothpaste. You're fine.
With the amount of coffee and wine I drink.
Creepy ass mustache, and we'll be all right.
Gives me something to pet, since I don't have pets. All right, and we're at the end of the hour, so thanks for joining us, and we hope we're going to see you guys all next week at the same time, same place, same channel, with some more truths about Greg. Who knows what else he's going to share with us? Who knows what else?
Well, apparently, I'm going to marry MDK 22420.
Apparently what?
We
see way too many weird things.
We see Greg with his top off, and now we know his bowel movement. We might as well be married.
Pretty much. Well, we've seen Sean with his top off too. He burns his chest and stuff.
Prove it.
He pissed in a bottle once on this show too.
What?
Man, I just remembered that. Yeah, it was like during the Game Awards or something. He didn't want to go out so he pulled out a bottle and just pissed live in front of everyone.
I mean, he couldn't see my dick.
No, but we could hear it.
So?
That's one of the 5 senses activated. And before we sign off, Sean, what's in
No idea.
Land? No idea.
Go watch the other video. There's a bunch of videos we got. We had 2 videos go over like fucking gangbusters last week. The Mario video and the fucking eShop sale video. All the videos did very well. Go watch the Resident Evil 3 review. Make sure you watch my video from that I put up a couple hours ago talking about Switch scalping and the PS5 situation. If you want to get informed about the PS5 overheating, the actual truth about the situation, I break it down for you.
Also, if you're looking for some reading material in quarantine, I suggest this book about the Sega 32X, which is a good book. It was written by Sean Long, and it's got a lot of good
it's on
information
sale
in there.
for like $16 right now on
So
Amazon.
cheap! How do you make money off it?
I sent you money, didn't I?
You didn't send me money recently.
No, the fuck I did. I sent you money. April
What?
March 30th or April 1st.
Did you? Well, you didn't tell me about it.
I figured you'd get emails about it. Or
It goes to an
alerts.
email I don't check.
Oh, well, check that email. You should have money in there.
Awesome. Jay's eating this week.
There you go.
All right, thank you. Greg, anything exciting in your world this week, specifically?
Not really, no. I bought a GamePad Game Boy Color magnifier today, which I'm pretty happy about, for $5 from Facebook Marketplace. But if you're new to Resident Evil 3, go check out on PC Invasion. I did a couple of guides. One that gives some tips for if you're new to the series, new to the franchise, even as recent as Resident Evil 2 remake. Tells you how to get the shotgun pretty much from the beginning right away, how to pick it up within the first 20 minutes, some other guides and stuff. And then my official review is over there on PC Invasion as well for Resident Evil 3 if you want to check it out. But other than that, enthusiast_Greg on Twitter and Instagram with random updates and tweets and nipple pictures.
Ooh. Over here on Hey Jay, there's going to be more streams this week. I'm realizing the week when I have my son, it's actually quite difficult to balance everything. So that's why I was pretty quiet last week. All my next Castlevania games are on delay because I don't know, they're not shipping them. So I can't get the DS ones or the Xbox one right now. So I'm probably going to jump into some Bloodstain because I have both of those. Might play those starting tomorrow. Then we're going to continue the platinum run of Hollow Knight and put out some Hey Jay Eats videos. So keep an eye out for that. We'll see you guys next week. Until then, keep it classy, or as Sean would say,
keep it classy,
or as Bearded Greg would say,
a little bit of both.
Have a good night, everyone.